Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am so excited to be talking with you guys today. My name is Emily. We are here for the February 2026 reading wrap up. I read 8 books, you guys, and they were chunkers too. A lot of these were on vlogs that hopefully will have been posted before this. So I won't go into a lot of detail, but I read some that weren't on vlogs, so I wanted to make sure to inform you guys of everything that I read. And a lot of these had to go back to the library, so the pictures will be forthwith here. The first one that I want to talk to you about, I read 2 different Francine River books. They were really interesting. I liked one better than the other. The first one was Bridge to Haven. In this one we follow a young girl through childhood to adulthood and some of the decisions that she makes in life. Francine put this character through a lot of stuff. Anyway, it was a lot of trauma and just a lot of heartbreak. Definitely Christian fiction. A lot of faith elements, which I could appreciate. I liked the character arc. This one I struggled with for many reasons, but I just didn't care for any of the characters, and it was hard too because I kind of knew exactly where we were heading with this entire story. So that's always hard when you know exactly what's going to happen in the story. It is what it is. The next Francine Rivers book I read was The Lady's Mine. Now this was utterly fantastic. We follow this woman who is basically banished from Boston. She has to go to, she inherits, that's the word I'm looking for. She inherits this newspaper in a very small town in, I want to say Colorado, but it's California. And she goes there, and it's this mining town where the majority of the workers there are men, and she's a very pretty female, and so she gets a lot of attention. And then you just follow her through sort of the ups and downs of living in this mining town. I loved it. There was a lot of suffragette mentions, which is always fun to read about. There was Molly Maguire mentions, which also I loved just because I had read previously about all of that shenanigans. But I loved the story between the male and the female main characters. I loved that love story. It wasn't as hard and in-depth as Bridge to Haven was, which I really appreciated just because I am not a fan of reading about grief and reading about hard things. That's just a personal preference. But I loved The Lady's Mine. I loved it. Such a fantastic read, and I would encourage anyone who likes maybe westerns or small town or anything a little bit like that to definitely read The Lady's Mine. In one of the comments, it was such a brilliant comment. This person said, as a non-Christian, I would like to know how much Christian elements are in all of these books because you seem to have really good taste in books, and I appreciated that one. But this is a great comment. I will definitely try to inform my viewers of that because I want this channel to be for anyone and everyone. So Bridge to Haven definitely had more faith content. This one is definitely lighter on that scale, but she is a Christian author, so definitely there is mentioned they go to church, they get married in a church. She talks about her beliefs. The main male character sort of has a arc of faith, if you want to put it that way. So there's that for readers who may not be interested in reading heavy-duty Christian reading. There you go. Okay. The next, I read a couple really good mysteries. I love me a mystery. The first one is part of my series vlog that will again hopefully be up sooner rather than later. Mrs. Jeffries Reveals Her Art by Emily Brightwell. I think this is like the 10th or 11th in the series, and there are, I think, 41 if I'm remembering correctly. So it's a long, long, long series, but it's super fun. I love them. We follow this group of household staff who work in the house of an inspector in Scotland Yard, I think, in England, Victorian England. Super fun mysteries. Again, I go into more depth in that vlog, so make sure you're subscribed so you can see that vlog. But in this one, it's cool because there were two things at the same time. And so half of the staff was working on this one mystery, and the rest of the staff was working on the other mystery. And then at the end, they kind of combine, and you see how they're intertwined because both of these things happen at the same house. And so you have to kind of realize, why is this house, who is the home of an art broker, art dealer, why is this house involved? Why is this guy involved? Things like that. The staff, you just fall in love with the staff. They're adorable. There is a hint of romance between two of the staff members. Nothing has happened yet, but it's forthcoming. It's been building up, building up, building up. These are not Christian at all. So there's that. The next one I read, that's just one of my favorite series ever. I love it. It's the movie The Mummy in book form. It's wonderful. It's the Amelia Peabody mystery series, and this particular one is The Ape Who Guards the Balance, by, oh, I forgot to put her name. Anyway, the picture is right here. I can't remember the name. Anyway, this one, this is a 20 book series, and I think this is like book 9 or 10, 11, somewhere in right there as well. So we have been following Amelia Peabody, who is an Egyptologist. She is from England, late 1800s, early 1900s. I think in these later books we're starting to move into the 1900s. And her family, as they go to Egypt each season to sort of see what they can dig up and some of the mysteries that Egypt holds, they always run into nefarious characters. And in this book, it's fun because all of her kids, both biological and adopted, are now getting older and starting to make some of their own decisions. And Amelia and her husband, they just have to kind of go along with it, and they are learning how to be parents to adult children, which is always fun to read about. And in this one, it's cool because you see different perspectives. So the kids now are putting their perspectives in manuscript form. Anyway, it makes more sense when you read it. Really, really good, you guys. I would highly recommend these. And again, no Christian content in here, but clean. I do, in the vlog, I say this, but there are a couple swear words, nothing vulgar or anything like that. And married people do married things, but everything is closed door, fade to black. It's all hinted at, but you don't see or read anything. Okay. The next one I read for that reading series books, they're mine. The next one was Echoes of the Sea by Sarah M. Eden. You guys, this was so good. Anyway, we follow Kipling, who is a modern day actor from Hollywood, but he's living in England. And he gets fired from his job, and his job was working on a Regency period piece. And so he has to do this fake British accent, things like that. And he gets fired from it. So he gets basically a summer job working at this reenactment place. But then on his way there, the tides of time take him to 1803, where he meets Amelia. And she is basically marooned on this island where she has to stay for, I think, 6 months to receive her inheritance. The males in her life have said that if you even step a foot out off the island, your inheritance is mine, basically. Really, really good. This is the second in the Tides of Time series. The first book and the second book, completely different. There are no overlapping characters. Like, you don't meet anybody in this book, in the first book. The only thing that is common is the Tide of Time, where they take people back and forth through time. I liked this one way better than the first one because there wasn't back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Once Kipling got to 1803, they stayed in 1803, which I appreciated because in the first one, it was hard to sort of keep track, I guess, and the ending wasn't my favorite. The ending here was just wrapped up in this beautiful bow, and it was fabulous. And again, I say this in the vlog, but I love how Sarah M. Eden represents characters, and she's done this a couple of times, but with female characters, she's given them like a limp or a bad leg or something, so they have to use a cane. And in this case, they are always used as like weapons to get people away, and they're just really cute. But in this time period, generally the men would be wearing the cane for, you know, aesthetically pleasing ensemble or whatever. It wasn't necessarily the women. And so I like that she puts it in the women's hands. I think that's really, really interesting. But completely fabulous, absolutely wonderful, 5 stars, 100% wonderful. Yes. The next one that I read for the series vlog that I'll quickly go over was The Rules of Matrimony by Annika R. Walker. This is the 4th, and I'm pretty sure the final one of a Matchmaking Mama's Romance series. We have been following this group called the Rebels, and in each book so far, they've all had their love story except for the leader, Ian. And because we've seen Ian in 3 other books, we know him very, very well. And he is a curmudgeon. He's like, absolutely not. I am not getting married. These mamas are not going to get their hooks in me. All my other friends are idiots for having to fall into that love trap. Oh, it is so funny. So in the first chapter, he meets Amy. Okay, this meet cute, you guys, probably the cutest one I've ever read. Normally I'm like, oh, gall. But this one was so funny. She does something that I think I've never seen before, which is hard to say when you read a lot of Regency romances. Anyway, absolutely hilarious. I loved it. It's the marriage of convenience. There's a lot of forced proximity, which are 2 of my favorite tropes. Amy is basically destitute. Her father has died, so she and her mother have to depend on family members to live and survive. And so he makes a deal with Amy to get married, but it's truly a marriage of convenience. Like, we will only be seen if we have to together. You will live in this house. I will live in this house. He is a lord or whatever. And so he spends a lot of time in the House of Commons, or the House of Lords or whatever it is. And that's his love. Like, he loves helping others. That's their group, the Rebels. That's their main goal, is to help others, widows, orphans, the downtrodden, things like that. And in Ian's mind, a woman is just gonna mess all of that up. You guys, it is so adorable. I loved how the ending played out. The reconciliation between he and his father was perfect. There is a miscommunication trope, but it is not between the love characters. It's between he and his father. And that's all I'm going to say, because it was done so well. Oh my goodness, you guys. I loved it. Loved it so much. Anyway, there's that. Okay. Then I finished up a book for a vlog that I should have had done like January, whatever. That's life. It's called Kit and Elizabeth by Karen Tuft. This was another Regency romance. Now, all of these 2 and this Karen Tuft one, they go to church, but that's about it. They talk about a vicar, things like that. All clean, nothing but kisses, but no necessarily faith elements, if that is interesting to anybody. Kit and Elizabeth, however, was probably not my favorite. The first half of the book, I go into depth in the vlog on this one too, so check that one out. The first half of the book I struggled with. When you don't like the characters and the parents of Elizabeth are absolutely horrid, and it was hard to get into. The second half, there was a giant upswing, which I appreciated. I had no idea why these two very opposite personality people would come together. In the end, they sort of reversed and flipped. It was average for me personally. I will continue reading Karen Tuft, and we'll see what else I think of some of her other books. Okay, and number 8, I talked about that one. Yeah, I talked about all of them. I went out of order from my list. Was I finally got it, you guys. The audiobook came in from the library, and so I am officially on the bandwagon for the Unselected Journals of Emma and M. Lyon by Beth Brower. I think that's her name. I can't read my own handwriting. Really, really sweet. I'm excited to move forward in the series because it is another Regency era piece. And so I want to make sure that I am reading them closer together because I'm afraid that with all my other Regency romances, things are going to start to intertwine. In this one, we follow Emma, who inherits this house, I believe, and she has to deal with a cousin who is a bum, and he's a meanie, and he's trying to take her fortune and her inheritance and things like that. Really, really short, this first one. I am totally going to read the rest of the series because I have just heard nothing but good things. This first one was average to me just because not a lot happened, but I do know that it gets better, and so I'm going to continue on with the series for sure. Okay, that is all 8 books. I had a wonderful reading month. I'm excited for March. We're already in March, and it's been a good month so far, but February is now wrapped up, and we will be moving forward. Please leave your comments below. I would love to talk to you down there. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will talk to you guys again really soon. Bye.